morning, students. So, yesterday we completed the Lewis dot structure in the chemical bonding chapter. So, the continuation to the Lewis dot structures, the formal charge concept is there. Actually, what is the formal charge? So, we know the charge on the ion or charge on the atom. Suppose you see O2 minus. This is the oxygen charge, O2 minus. You see CO3 2 minus, carbonate ion. The CO3 has 2 minus is a charge. This is the total ion charge, means 1 carbon, 3 oxygens, total charge is minus 2. This is a charge on the ion. But formal charge means what is the charge of individual atoms present in the ion. The charge of the individual atoms present in the entire ion is nothing but formal charge. To find out this formal charge, Lewis dot structures are useful. So by using the Lewis dot structures only, formal charge of the individual atoms in the ion we can find out. How? The formal charge has one formula. See this. Formal charge Fc is equal to the formal charge of the individual atom present in ion is equal to V minus S by 2, or we can write V minus US means US means unshared electrons. Unshared electrons minus S by 2 means shared electrons by 2. US means unshared. S means shared. Unshared are number of unpaired. So V minus number of unshared electrons minus number of shared electrons by 2. So this is the formula to find out the formal charge of individual atom. Now I'll tell you an example. So V means what? Valency electrons of the atom. Minus US means unshared electrons number. Minus S means shared electrons number divided by 2. Only this 2 is for only sulfur. Means this 2 is for only one atom, not sulfur. Only in the one atom, number of shared electrons by 2. It's not S, it's not a sulfur, it is shared electrons. For every term, we have abbreviation. V for valence electrons, US means unshared electrons, S means shared electrons, divided by 2. So one example I will tell you, see this. First of all, H2S, hydrogen sulfide. In hydrogen sulfide, or we can take it is CS2 carbon disulfide, or we can say CO3 2 minus, or we can say O3. All these molecules, in all these molecules, see, some molecules are not having any charges. Means this is a neutral, this is also neutral, it is also neutral. Means sum of the all the formal charges of all atoms is equal to 0. Means the sum of the all atoms formal charges is equal to 0. That is the total charge of the molecule or ion will come. Here total charge on the ion is minus 2, means sum of the formal charges of 1 carbon and 4 oxygens are minus 2. That is the total charge on the ion. Here total charge is 0, but formal charges will be not 0. We need to find out. Sum of the formal charges will be 0 will come. Here also sum of the formal charges of all atoms will be 0. Here also sum of the formal charges of all atoms will be minus 2. Here sum of the formal charges of all three oxygen atoms are 0. Let us check all these values. First of all, I am explaining H2S. Let's write the structure of the H2S. Central atom is sulfur. Sulfur means we know oxygen का नीचे मिलेगा sulfur in the periodic table. So whatever the oxygen Lewis dot structure, sulfur को भी same होगा. So 2 lone pairs, 2 bond pairs. In yesterday's class I given Lewis dot structure for oxygen and all. Sulfur को भी same होगा. Sulfur has 2 lone pairs, 2 bond pairs. Now it is attaching with 2 hydrogens. See, 1 hydrogen, 1 bond pair. So these two are sharing, forming bond. Another hydrogen also same. These two are sharing. So this is the Lewis dot structure of H2S. Yeah, we have this is hydrogen 1, this is hydrogen 2. I am giving numbers. This is sulfur. Let's find out the formal charges of each and every atom. See, formal charge of sulfur. Formal charge of sulfur is equal to sulfur. What is actually formula? V. V means valency electrons of sulfur. Because we are finding the formal charge of sulfur now. That's why in all these terms sulfur को लेना है. So in sulfur valence electrons how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these electrons are considered as valence electrons. So 6 valence electrons minus unshared electrons. Yeah, these two are unshared, these two are unshared. Totally 4 unshared. Because these electrons are shared. These are not shared. That's why unshared how many? 2, 2, 4. Minus shared electrons by 2. How many shared electrons? 1, 2. Here 1, 2. So here totally 4 electrons are shared. This is sulfur electron. This is hydrogen electron. But these two electrons are sharing mutually between 2 atoms. That's why these 2 electrons we need to consider for the sulfur as well as hydrogen also. Then only mutually sharing of electrons are going on. Therefore, these two are the shared electrons. These are also shared electrons. So 2 plus 2, 4 shared electrons divided by 2. 4 shared electrons by 2. So how much it is? So 2 2s, 6 minus 6, 0. So sulfur formal charge is 0. Let's go with hydrogen also. Hydrogen formal charge is how much? So that is I will tell you hydrogen formal charge. See this. Formal charge of hydrogen 1. Hydrogen 1 or hydrogen 2 same ही होगा answer because same electron, same number of electrons. Valence electrons how many? 1. Hydrogen के valence electron 1. V. Minus unshared. Is there any unshared electrons in this? No. Only 1 electron is there that is involving in the sharing. So no unshared electrons. So 0 minus shared electrons by 2. How many shared electrons? 2. 2 electrons are sharing. Divide by 2. So 2 by 2. How much it is? 1 minus 1. So it is also 0. So formal charge of hydrogen 1 is 0. So this is nothing but formal charge of hydrogen 2 also. So for hydrogen 1 formal charge is 0. For hydrogen 2 formal charge is also 0. Sulfur formal charge also 0. So 0, 0, 0. Sum of all these 3 zeros will come as 0. Means the total formal charge of H2S will be 0. So like that H2S का हो गया. Now coming to the CS2. So let's go with CS2. See this CS2 structure I am writing. Central atom carbon. Carbon has 4 valence electrons we know. In excited state all 4 valence electrons means 4 bonding electrons. See 1, 2, 3, 4 valence electrons. These 4 are forming bonds with the 2 sulfurs. Sulfur valence Lewis dot structure we know. 2 lone pairs, 2 bond pairs. Yeah, 2 bond pairs I am writing like this. And 2 lone pairs I am giving like this. 2 lone pairs I am giving like this and 2 bond pairs like this. these two bond pairs are forming bond like this, and this sulfur also, another sulfur also same. We have two bond pairs and two lone pair of electrons are there. So these two bond pairs are forming bonds. Lone pairs are still there. So we have one sulfur, one carbon, two sulfurs. I am giving this number. So sulfur 1 and this is sulfur 2. Let's find out the formal charge of the carbon. See, formal charge of carbon is equal to, formal charge of carbon is equal to V, valency. This is the formula. V for valency. Valency of carbon how much? How many valence electrons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 valence electrons minus number of unshared. How many unshared electrons? No. There are no any unshared electrons. All are shared. So 0 unshared minus number of shared electrons by 2. How many shared electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds means 8 electrons are shared. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 shared electrons. 8 shared electrons by 2. So how much it is? 4. 4 minus 4. It comes around 0. So the formal charge of this carbon is 0. Similarly, formal charge of the sulfur 1, sulfur 2 also find. Formal charge of sulfur 1. So how many sulfur valence electrons tell me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 valency electrons. Sulfur minus number of unshared. Yes, there are unshared electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these 4 electrons are unshared. Minus number of shared electrons by 2. How many shared electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shared electrons divided by 2. So how much it is? This will be 2. So 6 minus 6 is coming around 0. So formal charge of sulfur 1 is 0. Sulfur 2 also having the same structures, same number of valence electrons, unshared, shared also, because both these two sulfurs are same. So this is now same of formal charge of sulfur 2. So formal charge of sulfur 1 and sulfur 2 are same there. So like that, carbon formal charge is 0 and both sulfurs formal charge is also 0. So sum of all these atoms formal charges is coming around 0. That's why this is a neutral molecule. Some of the formal charges are coming around 0. So this is for CS2. Now coming to the CO3 2 minus formal charge, let's do it now. CO3 2 minus. You see this CO3 2 minus Lewis dot structure. Yesterday also I given the Lewis dot structure of CO3 2 minus. This structure only I am giving here. See. So you will get the double bond like this. Here single bond you will get CO3 2 minus Lewis dot structure I given already in the last class. This oxygen has 2 lone pairs and these are the 2 bond pairs, and carbon has 4 bond pairs, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, and this oxygen has how many? This oxygen has 3 lone pairs and 1 bond pair. 1 extra electron is gained, that's why showing minus charge, and it is also same 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 extra electron is gained. So this will be CO3 2 minus structure is this. So here the 2 types of oxygen atoms are there. These 2 oxygen atoms are same. This is different, right? This is I am taking oxygen 1, this is oxygen 2, this is oxygen 3. Oxygen 1, 2, 3 atoms formal charges and carbon formal charge. Let's find out now. See, formal charge of carbon. Formula, valency of carbon, valency में how many electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 electrons minus number of unshared. Are there any unshared electrons? All are sharing electrons only, no unshared electrons. So this is 0 minus number of sharing electrons only. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 8 electrons. So how many? Totally 8 shared electrons. 8 shared electrons divided by 2. So this is how much now? 4 times. So 4 minus 4 is coming 0. So the formal charge of this carbon is 0 is coming. So now formal charge of oxygen 1 find करेंगे. See, formal charge of oxygen 1. So how many valence electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 valence electrons of oxygen minus number of unshared electrons. Unshared. How many unshared electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4. These are unshared and these are shared. 1, 2, 3, 4 unshared electrons minus number of shared. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4 shared electrons. So 4 divided by 2. So how much it is? So this is 2 times. So 6 minus 6 is also 0. So formal charge of carbon 0, formal charge of oxygen 1 also coming as 0. Now formal charge of oxygen 2, oxygen 3. There is a charge on this, minus 1. This is only formal charge. So let's prove it. The formal charge of this oxygen is coming around minus 1. Is it coming or not? Let's prove it now. See, formal charge of oxygen, how much? 2. Formal charge of oxygen 2. So how many valence electrons are there now? Oxygen has how many valence electrons? Oxygen. Here it is showing that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But 7 valence electrons is not possible. The 7th one is coming extra from outside. It is gained. This oxygen is gained 1 extra electron. Actually, it is not present in the oxygen atom. It is gained extra from outside. That's why oxygen having 6 electrons only on its own. This O minus means extra it is gained. That's why O negative charge is shown. So totally 6 valence electrons only there. So 6 minus number of unshared. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unshared. 6 unshared minus number of shared electrons. How many? 1, 2. 2 shared electrons divided by 2. So how much it is? This is 1. So 6 minus 6 is 0 and minus 1. Totally minus 1 is coming. This is formal charge of oxygen 2. Similarly, formal charge of oxygen 3 also same, no? Both these two are same oxygen atoms. So formal charges also will come around the same. So this is formal charge of oxygen 3 also. That's it. So this is coming minus 1. It is also the minus 1. Sum of the formal charges of all atoms, how much? Carbon 0. This is 0. This is minus 1. This is minus 1. Sum of all formal charges, how much? Minus 2. That's why CO3 is showing minus 2 charge. The sum of the all the formal charges is minus 2 comes. That is why individual atoms charges are called as formal charge. Sum of the all formal charges of all atoms present in a molecular ion is nothing but charge on the ion. Like that, the formal charges concept we can explain. So this is actually comes, the formal charges is completely depends on Lewis dot structures. In this dot structure only number of unshared shared electrons we can find out. And one more example I will tell you in the formal charge, and this is very important. Formal charge, one more structure I will tell you, that is ozone. That is in case of ozone, you see this O3. O3, there are 3 oxygen atoms are there. See, 1, 2, 3. 3 oxygen atoms. Each oxygen atom has, we know, 2 lone pairs, 2 bond pairs. See how I am giving the 2 lone pairs, 2 bond pairs. Yeah, these are the 2 lone pairs, 2 bond pairs. Bond pairs are somewhat distance maintained. Lone pairs are like this. And this oxygen atom also 2 lone pairs, 2 bond pairs. So what happened? This bond pair is mutually sharing. The two bond pair of electrons of two oxygen atoms are mutually sharing and forming bond. But what about this oxygen? This oxygen also having two lone pairs and two bond pairs. This oxygen also having two lone pairs, two bond pairs. Then how, which oxygen atom is forming bond with this? Which oxygen atom is forming bond with this? Because in this case no bond pair is left to attach with this, because bond pair of electrons only are able to forming bonds. Here in this case no bond pair of electrons. Here also in this case no bond pair of electrons. So only bond pair of electrons are able to forming bonds. But here it has bond pair, but these two oxygen atoms are not having any bond pair of electrons. Then how they are forming bonds? How these two are forming bonds is, see, so no chance of the lone pair now. That is why what happens is, see, this oxygen atom later on configuration I am writing 2s2 2p4 valency configuration 2s2 2p4. 2s2 electrons are coming like this, and 2p4 means 1 2 3 4, 2p4 like this. So here these are the two lone pairs. Yes, these are the two lone pairs. These two are the bond pairs. Yes, these are the bond pairs. But in this case no bond pair of electron, just lone pairs only there, but lone pairs are not forming any bonds. But how this oxygen is linking, therefore O3 is forming. To link up with this oxygen, what happens is, this is itself violating the Hund's rule. It means this one of the bond pair of electron is pairing themselves. The one of the bond pair will pair themselves and creating an empty orbital. See like this, the bond pair of electron here, it will be pair themselves. Here creating one empty orbital. See, this empty orbital is created. Then what happens? One of this lone pair of electron of oxygen will shift from here to here empty orbital. You see this, one of electron will jump into this. It is jumped. One of electron is coming from here to here, completely lodged into this oxygen. Now there is a bond pair, there is a bond pair. These two are mutually sharing now. Actually this electron belongs to this oxygen atom, and this electron also belongs to this oxygen atom. The two electrons are belongs to this oxygen atom only, and these electrons only involving in the bond formation. But whereas in this case, this electron belongs to this oxygen atom, this electron belongs to this. So these two electrons are belongs from the two oxygen atom. That's why they are called, they are mutually sharing, forming covalent bond. But these two electrons are actually belongs to one oxygen atom, and by donating one of electrons to other oxygen atom, then electrons are mutually sharing. Actually these two electrons are coming from one oxygen atom only, and because of this donating, whatever the mutually sharing bond is formed, this is called coordinate covalent bond. This is just covalent bond, because the mutually sharing of the two electrons coming from two atoms. This is coordinate covalent bond, means the mutually sharing of electrons coming from only one oxygen atom, only one atom. This is the difference between the covalent bond and coordinate covalent bond. Covalent bond means the two electrons are sharing between two oxygen atoms, and the two electrons are coming from two oxygen atoms. In this case, the two electrons are coming from only one oxygen atom, and they are involving in the sharing between the two oxygen atoms. So this is called coordinate covalent bond, and this is just covalent bond. This coordinate covalent bond is also called as a dative bond. See, this is actually coming from this. Means this oxygen atom has lost electron donated to this. So this oxygen atom gained electron. That's why it shows minus. This oxygen atom has lost electron to this. That's why this oxygen shows positive charge. It has lost, it shows positive charge. It is gained, shows negative charge. So this is actually the O3 formation. Ozone O3 formation is this. Here I am giving this is oxygen 1, oxygen 2, oxygen 3. See, here double bond is formed. See this? Here double bond is formed between oxygen 1 and 2 and single bond, day 2 bond. Day 2 bond means coordinate covalent bond is formed between oxygen 2 and 3. There is another chance also there. See, another chance. Double bond it can form between these two oxygen atoms, single bond can form here also. See, this is also I will give. Yeah, it may happen also. Yeah, this oxygen atom can gain. Yeah, completely opposite. Means is there no there is actually no any specific point in that. Double bond can form only between these two oxygen atom. Single bond is forming between these two oxygen atom. It's not like that. Double bond can form between any two oxygen atoms. Single bond can bond between any two oxygen atoms. So it can be shifting from here to here. The double bond can shift from here to here or here to here also. Here to here or here to here also. This type of the displacing of any electrons from one position to another position within the atoms are called resonating structures. So these two are called resonance structures. Double arrow means this can be shifted to this can be changed to this. These two are called resonating structures. The double bond can shift from here to here or here to here also. Therefore, whatever the structures are forming, these two are interconvertible structures. These are called resonating structures. Now this is oxygen 1, oxygen 2, oxygen 3. So there are 3 oxygen atoms. Let's find out the oxygen atoms of all these 3. Formal charges of all these 3 oxygen atoms. See, I am taking now formal charge of oxygen 1 in structure 1. So this is structure 1 and this one is structure 2. In structure 1, formal charge of oxygen 1. Tell me in this how many valence electrons? Oxygen has 6 valence electrons only. Minus number of unshared 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 unshared. Minus number of shared electrons 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 divided by 2. So this is 2 times. So this is 2. So 6 minus 6 is 0. So oxygen 1 has formal charge is 0. Now formal charge of oxygen 2. Formal charge of oxygen 2. Oxygen 2 is this one and this. So tell me in this valence electrons here also 6 only. 6 actual valence electron, but 1 of electron is lost in this. Basic valence electrons only we need to write. So 6 valence electrons minus. Unshared, how many? 1, 2. Oxygen 2, no? 1, 2. 2 unshared. Minus number of shared. Yeah, this is shared. It is also shared. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shared electrons. So 6 shared electrons by 2. So how much it is? So this is 3 times. So 6 minus 5 is plus 1. Plus 1, yes. Oxygen 2 has plus charge, means plus 1 will come here. Here minus 1 will come as a formal charges. Individual oxygen atom charges are nothing but formal charges only. This is oxygen 2. Now formal charge of oxygen 3. Oxygen 3. Number of shared electrons here also how many? 6. minus number of unshaded, how many, 1 2 3 4 5 6 unshaded electrons, minus number of shaded electrons, how many, one bond means 2 electrons, 1 2 are the shaded electrons, so 2 electrons by 2, so this is 1, 6 minus 6 is 0 and it is minus 1, so minus 1 is the formal charge of oxygen 3, that's it. But you see, oxygen 1, oxygen 2, oxygen 3, sum of the all formal charges how much? 0 plus 1 minus 1, sum of all the formal charges is 0. That's why O3 has neutral molecule, because in this whatever the 3 oxygen atoms are there, all the 3 oxygen atoms formal charges sum is 0 is coming. Therefore, like this way formal charges we can find out. For structure 1 formal charge we got it, for structure 2 also formal charges you will get it, you will get the same answers like this. So whatever the any other resonating structures are given, in these resonating structures same answers are coming. In some other resonating structures this type of same answers will not come. Then in that case, which one is more stable resonating form, which one is a less stable resonating form, we can find out. So whatever the lowest formal charges sum will come, formal charges will come, that is the most stable one. So whatever the lowest formal charges will come, that structure of resonating structure is more stable structure. Like that we can find out the stability of the any resonating structure based on formal charges. So like this way formal charge we can explain. Okay, after completion of the formal charge in the covalent compounds by using Lewis-Dawes structures, the covalent bond and its properties, the concept is coming now, the covalent bond and its properties. Actually, what is actually the covalent bond? The covalent bond is nothing but a mutually sharing of the electrons between two atoms. Mutually sharing of the electrons between two atoms causes the formation of covalent bond. This covalent bond, see, all these are the subtopics of the covalent bond. Covalent bond means what? There are two types: non-polar covalent bond, polar covalent bond. And after that, characteristics of the covalent bond. Number 1, physical states. Number 2, their conductivity. Number 3, their solubility. Number 4, their isomerism property. One by one I will tell you. Number 5, their reactivity. All these points are under chemical bonds only. See, covalent bond, all these are under covalent bond concept. Actually, what is meant by covalent bond? Just I told you. Mutually sharing of the electrons between two atoms. See this? These two atoms are having the single electrons are mutually sharing, forming a bond. That is called covalent bond. This covalent bond is nothing but two types: non-polar covalent bond, polar covalent bond. All these details I will give in the notes. First of all, non-polar covalent bond means what? Next, covalent bond means what? So, see, this is actually covalent bond. Covalent bond are of two types: non-polar covalent bond. Next, polar covalent bond. What is actually non-polar covalent bond? A bond is forming between two similar electronegativity atoms, means between same atoms. If a mutually sharing of electrons like this, see, the mutually sharing of electrons takes place between two similar atoms, means between two similar electronegativity atoms, causes the formation of non-polar covalent bonds. Yes, this is non-polar covalent bond. Not only H2, example for this is H2, N2, F2, Cl2, same atoms. Between same atoms, whatever the bond is formed, that is called non-polar, means polarity is not there. Polarity means charges will form, positive charge and negative charge will form. So that is called polar covalent bond. So example for polar covalent bond, I'll tell you. Polar covalent bond means it is the bond formed between two dissimilar electronegativity atoms. Dissimilar, not same. Then we can say the bond is polar covalent bond. For example, you see HCl. Yes, both are the dissimilar electronegative atoms. This hydrogen electronegativity is how much? 2.1. Chlorine electronegativity 3. I already told you in the classification of elements, electronegativity concept. Its electronegativity is 2.1, its electronegativity is 3. The difference is how much? If the difference in the electronegativity is less than 1.7, if the difference in electronegativity is less than 1.7, then covalent nature is dominating. Covalent nature is more, ionic nature is less. Suppose if the difference in the electronegativity is greater than 1.7, then ionic nature is dominating. Ionic nature dominating, covalent nature is decreases. So both are polar covalent bonds only, but in this polarity means ionic nature. The ionic nature is more if the difference is greater than 1.7. If it is the difference is, this is one measurement. If the difference between the two elements electronegativity is less than 1.7, then they are called covalent nature is more dominating, less polarity. Look at this 2.1 and 3. So difference is how much? 0.9. 0.9 means less than 1.7. It means in this case covalent nature only dominating, ionic nature is decreases. Like that, if the difference is more than 1.7, then ionic nature only dominating, covalent nature is less over. Means polarity is increases, means ionic nature is increases, and electronegativity difference also increases. This point I already given in the periodic classification chapter. So if two dissimilar electronegativity atoms are involving in the mutual sharing of electrons, then formed covalent bond is called polar covalent bond. Between same atoms, if mutual sharing of electrons are formed covalent bond is called non-polar covalent bond. Difference of electronegativity is 0 in this. So the compulsory, it is called non-polar covalent bond. So covalent bond means what? Two types: non-polar covalent bond, polar covalent bond. This is over. Now characteristics of the covalent bond means characteristic properties of the covalent bond. See, the characteristic properties of covalent bond, number one is their physical state. Their physical state, generally they are all liquids and gases. Normally they are all liquids and gases. Hydrogen gas, chlorine gas, fluorine gas, bromine liquid, Br2 liquid, same liquids. So liquids and gases are available. Some solids also there. Solid covalent compounds also there. What they are? See, diamond. Diamond is a covalent compound. All are carbon atoms are present in this diamond. They are all covalent compounds, but it is available in the solid state. Next, silica, SiO2, silica. It is also sand, means solid state it is. In this case also the covalent bonds are present. Next, carborundum. Carborundum means silicon carbide. Silicon carbide means carborundum. It's a common commercial name. So in this case also carbon and silicon are forming the covalent bond only. and it is available in the solid state. Graphite, graphite also we have the covalent bonds, and solid state is available. So diamond, graphite, silica means sand, carborundum, all these are available in the solid state. So these are all available in the solid state, and remaining maximum covalent compounds are available in the liquids and the gas state. So number two, conductivity. Conductivity means are they passes electricity through it? Means they are all non-conductors of electricity. Because covalent bonds means almost they are all less polarity will come. Less because mutually sharing of electrons. Mutually sharing of electrons means the charges will very less develop. If it is polar covalent bond also, charges forming is very less. Polarity less will come. Means almost they are all non-conductors of electricity. Current is not passing through them. So hydrogen H2 current is not passing. So F2 current is not passing. So all the covalent compounds are non-conductors of electricity. Non-conductors of electricity. But there is exception. Except graphite. Graphite is giving star mark because except this graphite. Graphite में current pass होता है. Why? Because in the graphite we have carbon atoms. In the diamond also we have carbon atoms. In the graphite also we have carbon atoms. But in the diamond no free electron is available. But in the graphite we have the free electron. Free electron is moving in the graphite. That's why through this free electron the current is passing. Why it has free electron? It will come in the class 11 14th group chapter. In that chapter I will tell you very clearly why graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Up to this is the reason. Graphite has free electron. So in the graphite carbon atoms only there. Carbon atom means we have 4 electrons. Out of 4, 3 electrons only involving in the bonding. The 4th electron will be freely moving in the graphite. Through this electron only the current is flowing in the graphite. That's why graphite is a good conductor. Remaining all are non-conductors of electricity. This is the second characteristic property. Now solubility. So next property is solubility. Solubility can be explained based on one quotation like, see, like dissolves like. Like dissolves like is the one quotation. Means I'll tell you what is meant by this like dissolves like. See, if the compound is non-polar, then it is soluble in non-polar solvent only. If the compound is non-polar, it is soluble in non-polar solvent only. Means I told you non-polar covalent compound, polar covalent compound means what? If it is non-polar, it is soluble in the non-polar solvent only. Means like dissolves like. If it is non-polar, soluble in non-polar solvent. If it is polar, soluble in polar solvent only. Like dissolves like. If the compound is polar, soluble in polar solvent. I will give, this is first quotation, second quotation. Example for the first quotation I will give. Means see, example of first quotation. If it is the non-polar, see for example, non-polar substances like, non-polar solvents. What are famous non-polar solvents? Means frequently using non-polar solvents. carbon tetrachloride, carbon disulfide. All these are the non-polar solvents, means polarity nothing in that. CCl4 CH2, here इसमें polarity कुछ भी नहीं होता है, means they are all non-polar compounds, non-polar liquid solvents. In this non-polar compounds all are soluble. I told you what are non-polar soluble. Non-polar compounds means the bond is forming between two similar electronegativity atoms, then they are called non-polar compounds. They are all soluble in non-polar solvents like CCl4 CH2 liquids. And polar compounds, they are all soluble in polar solvents. What are polar solvent? The best polar solvent is water. Yes, water is a polar solvent. In this, all polar compounds are soluble. All are soluble. Polar compounds all are soluble in this. Means suppose you see NaCl. NaCl is a polar because the electronegativity difference between the sodium and chlorine is more than 1.7. So more polarity will come. So it is soluble in the polar compound, polar solvent like water. So like that. Suppose you see HCl if you take in the gas state, it is available in the covalent compound. Means non-polar compound will come, gas state. Suppose the same HCl when dissolves in water, means aqueous form. The HCl when dissolves in water means it is involving in the aqueous state. When dissolves in water, see what happened? One H is added to this H2O. It forms H3O plus, and this Cl is losing out. See, plus minus is forming. Plus minus means ions are forming. Ions are forming means this is nothing but polarity. Means ionic compound is act करेगा. If HCl gas state is there, it is available in the covalent compound. If HCl is present in the water, means it is ionizes, becomes a covalent compound. Means some compounds are natural like that. It means the taking solvent also plays very important role. Here if it is a water, then HCl becomes a polar compound. So like that, like dissolves like means non-polar compounds like pure covalent compounds are soluble in non-polar solvents like CCl4 and CH2. Polar compounds like NaCl are soluble in polar solvents like water. This is about the solubility. Now coming to the isomerism. Next characteristic property is isomerism. Number 4, isomerism. What is meant by the isomerism? Isomerism means the molecule, it will come in the organic chemistry mainly. So here the just a statement only I'll tell you. Isomerism means what? The compounds are having same molecular formula but they exist in different structures. Same molecular formula but they exist in different structures. They are all called isomerism, isomers. One example I'll tell you why it is isomers. See CH3 CH2OH. This is called ethyl alcohol. Its name is ethyl alcohol. What is actually its molecular formula? How many carbons? 2 carbons. Hydrogens how many? So carbons how many? 2. Hydrogen 3, 2, 5 and 1, 6. So hydrogen 6. Oxygens how many? 1. So its molecular formula is C2H6O. This one we can write in another way also. See CH3OCH3. This is called dimethyl ether. Dimethyl ether. In this case also how many carbons? 2 carbons. How many hydrogen? 3, 3, 6 hydrogens. Oxygen is 1. So this one is same. The same molecular formula but they exist in different structures. different names also. See, ethyl alcohol, dimethyl ether. It comes in organ chemistry in class 11 only, there I'll tell you. So the covalent compounds are involving in the isomerism. This is the point I want to tell you. So this is a covalent, these are all covalent compounds, means all the bonds are mutually sharing. So in all these cases now mutually sharing of electrons are going on. These are all covalent compounds. That is why they involving in the isomerism. And the main reason why the covalent compounds involving in isomerism is all the covalent bond formation is directional. This point you won't understand now. After this, one theory will come, valence bond theory. There, why it is directional, I'll tell you. Covalent bonds are directional bonds. That is why whatever the covalent compounds are there, they are all involving in the isomerism concept. Because the bonds are directional. Why it is directional? इसके बाद theory आएगा, valence bond theory. There I'll tell you. I will remind this point also, why it is directional. So all the covalent compounds, covalent bonds are directional. That's why they involving in the isomerism. Like there are so many examples are there in isomerism. It comes in organ chemistry. Now, fifth one is reactivity. Covalent compounds are usually less reactive compounds. Less reactive. For example, see H2, when it is reacts with Cl2, it is forming 2HCl. H2 combines with Cl2, it is forming 2HCl. It is actually the reaction involving in the covalent compound. See, H2 is covalent compound, Cl2 is a covalent compound. Why? There is a bond between the H2 and Cl2, but the bond is present between the two same atoms. So H2, Cl2 covalent compounds. It is also more covalent nature will come, but polar covalent bond, but covalent nature is more because electronegative difference is not greater than 1.7, less than 1.7. So covalent nature only dominating. These are all covalent compounds, but this reactivity is very slow reaction it is. That's why the reactivity of the covalent compounds are very slow. Why it is slow? See, because to involving in the reaction, there is a bond between the H and H, there is a bond between the Cl, there is a bond between H and Cl. To form the bond between the H and Cl, already existing bond has to be break. Here also already existing bond has to be break. Here bond breaking is going on, here bond forming is going on. So here the breaking of the bond is going on, here the forming of the bond is going on. For the breaking of the bond, for the forming of the bond, time taking. Time taking means slow. Slow means reactivity is less. So why the covalent compounds are less reactive means there is a bond breaking, there is a bond forming takes place. So time required for bond breaking and bond forming also. That's why these covalent compounds involving reactions are all time taking reactions, means the reactivity is very slow. So slow reactive reactions, all this. So like this way the characteristic properties of all covalent compounds we can explain. So covalent bond means what? There are two types, non-polar covalent bond, polar covalent bond, and the characteristic properties of covalent bonds are: number one, their physical states; number two, their conductivity; number three, their solubility; and number four, their isomerism; and number five, their reactivity. So one important note I will tell you in case of the solubility. See, solubility I told you I2 means the bond is present between the same atoms, same electronegativity iodine atoms, and the compound is what? Covalent compound, because electronegative difference is 0. So it's a covalent compound, but it behaves like an ionic compound when it is dissolved in the potassium iodide. The covalent compound can soluble in ionic compounds also. This I2 exception, we need to remember this. I2 is the covalent compound, but its solubility is increases in Ki. Ki is the polar compound. I told you, solubility means what? Like dissolves like. If the compound is covalent, it is soluble in the non-polar solvents. If the compound is polar, soluble in the polar solvents. So this is actually the non-polar, but it is soluble in the polar solvent. Completely opposite. Why it is dissolving in the polar solvent? Non-polar compound soluble in the polar solvent. Why? Because here the K is having K plus and I minus ionic compound. When it is combines with this, see what happens? Ki3 forming. Ki becomes Ki3. In this case also, K showing plus 1, I3 shows minus 1. So even the I2 is the covalent compound. Even the I2 is the covalent compound. It is soluble in the polar solvent like Ki. Solubility increases due to the formation of this again ionic compound. K plus I minus is the ionic compound. That's why I2 solubility is increases in the polar solvent. This is exception in case of solubility. So after that, isomerism means why it is isomerism. I told you, because of directional, and it is reactivity because of covalent nature, bond breaking, bond forming mistakes place. That's why reactivity is very slow. So these are all characteristic properties of ionic compounds, and further bonds I will give in the next class. Thank you.